Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome back then to JACKOCAR. It's round 6 and it's throwback week. We are at what seems to be a positively sunny Spa, which isn't normally the case. We normally get some sort of rain here, so perhaps it's coming in the race. Fingers crossed. We'll have a bit of a mix-up. I am joined by another throwback. He is only 37 years young, but perfectly apt for the occasion. Mr. Barry Baldwin, welcome back to the booth.
Good evening all. Yeah, it's good to be back. Just quickly, I'm not 37 until Saturday. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh, so close. He's 36.
But yeah, it's good to be here in the Ardennes Forest. Spa is one of my favourite tracks. I love racing around here. Like you said, nice and dry at the minute, but Spa likes to throw a bit of rain, so we'll see how the race pans out, but at the moment it looks like it's going to be dry throughout qualifying.
It does indeed, and if we get any updates we will let you know. Things to note from this race: 3 changes. We lose Michel Goris, Leroy Hazelager and Ben Shaw, but we gain Owen Wyatt, Waze Cuba and Danny Quinn. Tonight's joker is Jamie Wright, the one and only, who may be taking a minor sabbatical after this evening. And also last week's race winner, Corey Dalton, is on pad. His stage points are at lap, what are they, 6 and 11 or 7 and 11? I would say 6 and 11. I'm sure, Owen, I'm sure Barry will be able to get back to us with that one in a second. In the meantime, go on, if you got it.
I believe it is 7-11. Sounds about right. It's 7-13.
7-13. Well, the league owner didn't know that.
Go.
Anyway, welcome to Throwback Week. First out is young Owen Wyatt from Northern Ireland. Not Hollywood, so 1L in there. That's where he's from, in Northern Ireland. He is running. Any guesses, Bazza? You say you haven't seen many. I know what this is, but do you know what this is?
I have a very poor camera angle at the minute. There we go. Is it...
Yes, it is.
I'm just going to guess, is it McLaren?
No, this
No,
is
it's not.
the 2011 HRT Spaniard Racing Team.
Oh, of course.
Driven by none other than friend of the league, Karun Chandok, and I want to say Pedro Della Rosa.
I thought it was Carter Cahan.
Was it Carter Cahan?
Yeah.
Or did Carter Cahan race as well in the Lotus?
Yeah,
or the Caterham?
It was
as well as the Jordan. I do remember that.
Yeah. But,
so yeah,
I like it.
I like it. He's actually done quite a good job, and we will warn you, 20 liveries coming up. Codemasters livery templates are atrocious.
I agree. So we'll be interested to see how these guys do with them.
Yep. But anyway, we will worry about the templates as they come and go. For now, we'll give you a lap on board of Spa-Francorchamps then, with Owen Wyatt back in the driver's seat once again. So that's the start-finish line as we head on down towards Turn 1, also known as La Source. As ever, I do apologise if I don't know the corner names. I am not an expert by any means. This is the run-up then to Eau Rouge, where we saw, was it Alonso and Webber overtake each other through here, and then up to Radion, where we normally have the annual big crash, the big one that we have in JACKOCAR, along the Kemmel Straight then, and then into what will be Turn 4. This is the end of the DRS, the first DRS zone, as Owen brakes for Turn 4, quickly into 5, and then we'll nudge his way back to 6. You've got to stay on the inside of that white line, otherwise you will invalidate as you head down towards whatever this corner is called. Multiple lines through here. You can take different gears as well. Owen Wyatt negotiating it really quite well. This is another one I don't know the name for, but keeps it valid as Owen Wyatt as we run on down towards... Is this no name, Barry? Probably.
No, this is Pouon.
This is Pouon. I told you, I'm not an expert. Owen Wyatt, 7th and 8th gear through that. And this is the fun part of the track, if you can hook it up. The right and then the left, we saw George Russell crash here, I believe. I might be wrong on that as well. Another right-hander. This is the end of Sector 2 then. And Owen Wyatt looking to give us a nice valid lap. here as we open up Throwback Week for the first time ever, by the way. Throwback Week is not the same week for Cup and Kia due to a mix-up in the calendars, but it doesn't matter. Just 2 corners to go, the bus stop chicane then for Owen Wyatt. Kia Throwback Week will be in 3 weeks' time at Zandvoort, where me and Barry will not be participating. But good lap from Owen Wyatt as he comes up towards the line. It will be the benchmark of a 1:41.6.
Yes, very good lap time. Unfortunately, I didn't check what previous season pole was, so
Same.
we'll just go with a very good lap. It's probably about 4 seconds quicker than what I can do.
And because it's Throwback Week, Barry, we don't have to come up with stats and talk about the drivers as they do their laps. We can just talk about the liveries for a change. This one I will introduce because it's more my area. This is Jamie Griffiths, by the way, in the number 3 Good Wrench Chevrolet, driven by Dale Earnhardt to 7 NASCAR Cup Series championships. But let's say Jamie Griffiths is having a bit of a mid-1990s Dale Earnhardt slump, as he is yet to score more than double figures in points. I think he only sits on 9 coming into tonight, but can he at least get about a lap on the board? Jamie Griffiths will go P2 over 1:42.9.
So didn't catch most of his lap, but a bit off from Owens, so I don't know if he's made a mistake somewhere. Next up, I believe, is
Jamie
one
Wright.
of the main man. It is Jamie Wright. Is he still on wheel? Getting the gist of the wheel, I believe. Yes.
I believe so. And I also can't tell you what his livery is, so this is your best guess.
Black and gold. It might be a Lotus.
Black and gold. There it is.
or it could be the 2017 Haas, which I thought was quite a nice car.
I think Jamie is the only one to not tell me what he's running this week. Everyone's told me, but for a change, I've not actually made a list, so I can't tell you. As he goes P3 there, Barry. Next up, Danny Quinn. Let's see if you can get this one right. Down in P13 at the moment is Quinn, the points leader in the Kia Series. Everyone chasing him down there on a Tuesday night. Returns to Qatar next week.
It's a very nice livery. Whatever it is, it's very nice. If it's F1 base, I'm gonna lean towards maybe is it the Jordan?
It is. It's a Benetton of some sort. He did tell me.
Yeah,
I think he's done a good job.
Yeah,
the front of it looks like a mid-2000s Sauber, though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. As he puts it into P2, second off Owens' time. It's not a bad lap time, that, for a Kia driver.
And there it is, quickly to the line as well. Sullivan Lewis in another Benetton. That, I believe, is the Michael Schumacher one. I'm sure I'll be corrected in the chat later on. Yori, by the way, saying it's a dry race, which means boring. It's Spa. It's never boring.
Yeah.
So Kieran next then.
Kieran now. Is this a Virgin?
It is driving, yes. It's sorry, that was a tap-in, wasn't it? So we see a car off in the gravel. This is Kieran Spears. It's actually, we shouldn't laugh because he's doing a tribute to Jules Bianchi's Marussia car, where he got points in Monaco that time.
Yes.
But yeah, easy joke was made there. My apologies. Shout out to Matthew Redmore, who is a Marussia F1 fan. So he'll be cheering Kieran on tonight as he goes P2. So next up is always Cuba, another of the Kia drivers who has not left the pit.
Yes, I was just going to say, where is he? So we've got Connor, who's just started his lap and has spun and has got no front wing.
Yes. So we'll give him 30 seconds.
It's unusual to see Connor in a bright red car. I'm so used to seeing him in purple.
It's unusual to see... Oh, hang on, this is going to be a mess here.
What's going on here?
It's unusual to see Connor actually have an issue on his qualifying lap. He normally saves the problems for the race. But this is a Ferrari LMP1 car which ran in the 6 hours of Fiji last week. I did have to be told that because I definitely didn't know it. We will move away from Connor though, because obviously that's not going to be a very competitive lap time, to the fastest man in team speed. Oh, you got to get this one.
Yeah, well, I've seen his tweet for this one. The Williams from, what was the year he put? I think it was 94, or it might have been 92, Nigel Mansell's. And he complained because template's not the best. But considering the templates, he's not done a bad job.
Yeah, we've seen a few of these old Williams before. Gareth very much making the best of the resources available. And I said, from pictures alone, Gareth does have the best one tonight. Obviously, once they get out on track, they all look a little bit different. But certainly this is one from, dare I say, your era, Mr. Baldwin?
Yeah, early days.
Early days.
It was more late 90s. Coulthard McLaren. That's when I started getting more into my F1.
Okay, so here comes then Gareth to the end of the lap. This was the famous Red 5 car, wasn't it, that Sebastian Vettel now owns. Nigel Mansell, or is it Gareth Hall, goes across the line in P6. Next up, Jordan Lane. Now, when I last spoke to Jordan, he was doing a throwback to his livery from last week. But I believe, looking at that, he has changed it to a Jordan car. Very original.
Yeah. Fits the boot, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Jordan driving a Jordan.
And relevant.
And didn't a Jordan win? Was it Damon Hill won around here? Didn't he?
It was Ralph Schumacher P2, or was it the other way around? Can't remember.
But it was a yellow car that won it.
I was looking through the archives the other day, and I noticed from when we used to do teams, there was a team that Jordan was the captain of, called the Jordan Rebels. I'd never have guessed where he got that name from. But anyway, into the Fast 10 then, starting with Kyle Smith. This is... Do you know? Or do you want me to...
Again, I'm just going to go with a Williams from the early 2000s, maybe?
No, Kyle Smith is currently the very happy and brand new owner of a Mazda RX-8. And obviously RX-8s are famous for what, other than breaking down?
Drifting.
And their rotary engines. Drifting, spot on from Mr. Baldwin. So this is some sort of Mazda drift car. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. Through the chicane then comes Kyle Smith up to the line. And goes P2, the first man to challenge Owen's time, but still quite a way off of that.
Yeah, it's still quite about 7 tenths off. So Owen again, proving that he wants a full-time seat, but nobody wants him there. Who are we on now? Is it MK Bot? No, it's not.
This is Yuri. Now, he did tweet about this, by the way. And
yeah, but I didn't get much of the picture, so with it being Yuri, I'm going to say it's probably IndyCar of some sort.
Absolutely spot on once again. So this is from, I want to say Texas 2019 when IndyCar went there. I couldn't tell you who drives it. I know very, very little about IndyCar. But this is Yuri Hazelager in a white and green car. So our enthusiasm is limited because I think the templates have really affected it this season. It's we're used to seeing such good liveries from these guys. They are creative, honestly, but just it's the game, not them.
Right, so we're on MK Ball now. He's just coming through Blanchimont.
First to validate as well.
Very similar to Jamie Numbers' livery, but obviously he's gone with a bit more blue than black. But yeah, again, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a mid 2000, late 2010, VW WRC car. The Polo, if you will. P9. Again, I do apologise. I normally write a list down This season I just haven't been asked to do it, but this is something I do know about. The 2004 Mountain Dew scheme, the number 9 car driven by the number 66 of Peter Knighton this week. It's Casey Kane's Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS. As he comes up to the line, it's P2, getting closer to Owen Wyatt's time. But that was a very vibrant scheme in 2004, and it still is 19 years later. As we now look towards Khalifa, who has had 3 poles this season. Barry Baldwin.
Yes, coming into Pouon, I have seen this. He has gone for the, I might get the year wrong, I believe it was 2017 Renault that was driven by Ricardo and Ocon. I might be wrong with the drivers, but we'll go with that. Yeah, he's just come through Stavelo now, going on to the back straight. And like you said, 3 poles from this season. And just quickly on the pole sitters, we've had 5 races, and the pole sitter has not yet won the race. So how are we going to get that changed tonight? And we are looking for a 6th different winner tonight as well. As he crosses the line, and there you go, 2 times quicker than Owen.
There you go. I tell you what, I didn't know that stat.
Yep, and
Thank you very much.
That's Khalifa's 3rd pole in a row this season.
And it would be number 4 for the season as well if he retains it. But we have 5 drivers to go. The first of those is Ben Harrott, driving a, I want to say 2001 Ford Focus RS, the WRC, the Colin McRae version. And
oh yes, yeah.
Ben Harrott.
I do know that.
Yeah, I bet you do. Ben Harrott narrowly missing out on the club card, or sorry, in the club card shootout because he was level on points with Arnaud. Or was he? Sorry, he's 1 point shy of Arnaud. But yeah, Ben Harrott up to the line. We'll go P4. Good qualifying again, but yeah, more to come on the club card shootout. We'll bring that to you after qualifying. And next up is the home favourite. Everyone's favourite. Do you know this one? You'll know the car. You might not know it from this template, though.
Yes, I've seen the tweet. This is the test livery for Red Bull. I forgot the year. I think it was 2015 or 16.
I want to say 16.
Yeah. And he's not done a bad job considering the templates we do have. So credit where credit's due.
Let's go on board with Arnaud.
Home favourite, and he's getting a lovely slipstream here off Khalifa.
That's teamwork there. There are no teams in JACKOCAR, by the way. I don't know if I've ever said that. Arnaud will slide past Khalifa. The last time he won in JACKOCAR, it was around here. He went from last to first. JACKOCAR Bingo says he might invalidate, but he's going to crash into the wall instead. Arnaud is out of qualifying and may well have to do the same that he did over a year ago now, over 2 years ago, actually, and have to come from the back of the grid.
I think he heard you, so he got a tank slapper and put it in the wall.
He definitely heard me. It's just Arnaud things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Casper, I'm ever so sorry. I did see your tweet.
Coming into the bus stop now in a bright yellow car. I'm not sure what he's gone for, but plain and simple, which can always work, and he goes P6.
Yes, indeed. Let me just quickly, because Casper was the first person to submit their design this season. It is a 1998 kart, so the Champ car. You've heard of Champ car, right?
Ah, yes.
The Davis Racing, and I might butcher the driver name, driven by Arndt Meyer, whomever he may be. But this is Corey. I don't know what this is. He hasn't told me. So Corey to the line. No. Is it going to be pole in Spa? No, it's only P8. Don't forget, he is P8. Driving on pad this weekend. This week. Last week's race winner in Japan. And finally, then, the Season 5 and the Season 7 champion. You know this one?
Yes. He's gone for the car they're using for the F1 film.
Yes, yeah, spot on.
Yeah, that's all I know, really.
I
saw the tweet quickly, and yeah.
It is the Apex GP car, which we saw at Silverstone, and more recently Monza, I want to say, driven by Jake O'Sullivan in that number 40 car, looking to topple Khalifa off the timesheets. Can Khalifa get his 4th pole of the season, or will it be Jake O'Sullivan back to the top of the JACKOCAR timesheets here in qualifying as he comes round the final corner up to the line. Jake O'Sullivan, it's only P3, and Khalifa will claim another pole position here in JACKOCAR. He is now 2 clear on Ben Shaw, 18 poles in the league, an all-time record, and it just keeps growing every week, it would appear. Khalifa, the man of the first 20 minutes of a Thursday night. But can he finally this week convert it, and can we also get our 6th race winner in 6 races?
Yes, so only Khalifa and Owen were able to get into the 1 minute 41s. But yeah, can Khalifa convert that into a win, get the 6th different winner this season, and break the duck of pole sitter not yet winning? We shall see once the lights go out.
I'd also like to correct myself as well. It's actually 19 poles, not 18. So here's a stat for you, Bazza. 19 pole positions in 42 starts in the Cup Series.
Wow,
now that's a conversion race that nobody can match.
No.
But there you go. That is your qualifying for Throwback Week here at Spa. First time we've done it at Spa. It is Khalifa from Owen and Jake O'Sullivan. Pete Knighton up there once again, along with Ben Harrott. And it would appear Kyle Smith back on form. Already through to the playoffs is Casper. Kieran looking to really ignite his season. He's a long way down outside the top 10 in points. Corey into the playoffs, he doesn't mind. And Quinn, good qualifying from him, coming up from the Kia series. Maybe he's too fast for Kia. Qualifies P10. And then the rest of them, this is where I normally say I don't care, but I've got time. It's risky. Jamie Numbers, Gareth down in 13th again. Jordan, Yori, J. Luke and Connor complete the time setters. And then it's MK Bourne, Arnold from the back once again. And Waze will bring up the rear here in Spa.
Yes.
So, please look at YouTube chat, I'm being told. There are 2 tweets for this race. Ah, yes. So, I should probably address this first. It's a 22-lap race, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, to Mr. Newgarden, or Mr. Rosamond, stages are actually lap 6 and lap 11.
Right.
So just to be clear, lap 6 and lap 11 is where the stages are, just to make sure everybody is aware. Anyway, moving on. Barry, we must talk about the club card shootout. I don't know how interested you are in this. In fact, you should be, because we also have it in Kia this season.
Yeah, I had a quick look at it, and obviously you were discussing it last time out in Suzuka, but I'm still not fully up to scratch with it.
Okay, so basically, after, depending on how many regular season rounds there are in a season, this particular season, it's 5 regular season rounds. After that, the guys that are top 4 in points, they are guaranteed an amount, or a variable amount of playoff points based on their top 4 position. So they will basically fight amongst themselves over the next, 4 weeks. The bottom 16 drivers are seeded and then go head-to-head against each other each week. So let's take it, for example, this week we have Yuri Hazelaga versus Sullivan Lewis. Whoever finishes higher in this race will knock the other one out and advance to next week, where, say Yuri finishes ahead of Sullivan. Yuri next week will be against Ben Harrott, and basically it's like a knockout competition. The winner of said knockout competition ends up with, I think, either 5 or 6 playoff points to take into the postseason with them. I will tell you the matchups as well. Ben Harrott has already advanced over Michel Goris, who is not here. It is Yuri versus Sullivan, and then Jordan Lane, who's advanced over Leroy, who again is not here. The Season 1 and Season 2 fight of Peter Knighton and the Joker driver, Jamie Wright. Then you've got Khalifa versus Jamie Griffiths, who come together last week in Japan. Then it's Kyle versus Kieran, Gareth versus Connor, and Mike Kelterborn, who has already advanced past Ben Shaw, who is not here. So you would say the easier side of the bracket, now that Ben Shaw is out, it would be favourable to Khalifa But this is JACKOCAR, and anything can happen.
And it usually does. So just quickly, while we're on the formation lap, just having a nosy at people on tyres. Casper and Kieran, P7 and 8, they're on the mediums. Jamie Numbers in 12th on mediums. Jordan Newry on mediums, and MK Bourne. Jamie Wright, is on the hard tyre because he's on his Joker, so he'll be going long into the race.
Yes, he will. I'm just okay, so for those of you still interested in the stages, the sort of like the what's coming up tweet for today is correct, where it says 6 and 11. The tweet where I said first thing this morning,
that's the one I've seen.
Yeah, it says 7 and 13. That is incorrect. It is 6 and 11. My apologies, admin error. But hey, you can't get the staff, can I?
No. Just another quick stat for you as well before we get going. Jake in P3 is going for his 5th podium in a row. The only time he was not on the podium was in the first race in Singapore.
Won by, of course, the man he starts behind today, Owen Wyatt. There they both are. But it's JACKOCAR, and it comes to you live from the Ardennes Forest in Belgium. Khalifa will lead us away for round 6 and throwback week in a second. As the cars begin to fire up, let's try and get you a better camera angle. We're not going to get it, but away we go anyway. We're here when we're going in Spa as the cars head down towards turn 1. It's Owen Wyatt on the outside, but Khalifa retains the inside. Does Owen get the traction off the corner? We'll follow this all the way up towards Eau Rouge and Radion as Khalifa looks to have pulled away. Welcome to the viewers that have joined us, but looking further back we have Pete fighting with Kyle and Ben Harrett, Khalifa and Owen and Jake O'Sullivan all get through Eau Rouge and Radion perfectly fine. As we see the champ car of Casper Klein go wide, but keeps it just about on track, and between those lines into Les Combes they go then, turn 4, and it has been a lovely clean start so far as we see Kyle finally get past Casper. And there is Jamie Griffiths in P11. Problems further back for Jordan. And we see Jamie Wright, the Joker, who is off the track and bringing up the rear in that black and gold car, which we don't know what it is. Back to the front, yes. Khalifa has gapped Owen Wyatt.
Jamie Wright is unfortunately at the back of the grid. He's been off track, I believe. Yeah, he's got dirt all over that car. Not got them hard tyres up to temperature. For me, Corey has been lagging, so I'm not exactly sure if he is in P6 or not.
Here is Corey. Where did he start? I think he was about P6 or 7, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was P9.
P9, so he has made a good start and has actually gapped Casper and Kira as we see Jamie Wright retire from session. There is your safety car. It allows us to catch an early breather here. Remember, pitting on lap 1 and 2 is considered non-mandatory. But, of course, if there is any damage, now would be the time to do it. But Corey racing on pad and in a hotel room tonight, so that might be why his connection is not quite so stable. But here to pick up the points.
It seems to be okay now, but it was going into turn 8, which I believe is No Name. His car was twitching and a few guys went off, and I think that's why Kyle ended up in the wall as well.
I think you're absolutely spot on. I did note that as well, Bazza, I must admit. As a very tame start, wasn't it, from the drivers?
Yeah, I mean, it was clean. Everyone got through. Rouge and Radion, which is usually where we get the massive accidents. You could go back. I believe it was it season 1? You had TC Thomas, who was in the middle of the track, and myself and a few other drivers had to avoid him, and it caused a 4 or 5 car pileup.
I believe 6, actually.
Yeah, I remember. I think Jess was the last one to approach the chaos, and she was going ever so slowly, and she still managed to lose her front wing.
Yes, I remember that because we followed Jess out the pit lane, did me and Owen Wyatt, and we were like, "Come on, Jess! All you got to do is just pick your way through the carnage, and there was no gap for her. See Corey looking up the inside of Pete. That's interesting. I wonder if that's internet causing those issues. He doesn't appear to be lagging. I don't know if he just...
No, it seems to be stable again on my side as well.
Good stuff. We have a message from Gareth. So again from Mr. Rosamond via Gareth. Corey's car is driving upside down all over the track and off the track. Not for us, it isn't. I don't disbelieve him though.
Yeah. So, quickly on position changes. The biggest loser is obviously Kyle. He's dropped 11 places down in 17th. Biggest gainer at the minute is home favourite Arnaud down in 13th. He's picking his way up to get to the front to win this race from the back of the grid again.
I'm back. I was just listening to a voice message. I don't know what you just said.
Yeah. And I believe Waze is here as well.
Waze is here. The voice message that I referred to, by the way, was Kieran calling for Corey to sort his Wi-Fi out. I imagine because it was a voice message, he hasn't gone AI to do that, which is good to see. Of course, there are penalties applied for being in AI for longer than 10 seconds, as previous drivers have found out before, haven't they? I'm trying to think of the example now. Was it Kaya? It was Kaya. It was here last season where he, in the Cup Series, went up every lap. Radion, or Eau Rouge and Radion in AI. Hello, Kaya, in the chat. I know you're there. We saw you. Hopefully, Corey's internet isn't too bad for the drivers. If it does get bad, he will have to retire himself.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm right on board with him. It seems fine now. It was just lap 1 for me. He was all over the shop.
Yeah, I had that as well. But let's hope other drivers are able to negotiate. I mean, there is a small amount of lag there that we can see. I will just send a message to him. So I've done my bit. If you continue to talk us through it, Mr. Baldwin.
Quickly on anyone who's new to the league or is watching at home, Throwback Week is basically do a design livery on any sort of motorsport, whether it's F1, IndyCar, NASCAR, or that Formula E thing. It can be rally, etc. And usually previous games templates have been pretty good, but this year EA Codemasters have done a pretty poor job on them. But to be fair, some of these drivers have done a cracking job on the liveries tonight. And let's hope we should be getting a restart shortly, I should think. And then the pit stop window will be open at the end of lap 4, I believe. Because you cannot follow the safety car in JACKOCAR rules.
Good knowledge there from Mr. Baldwin. As we look at the stops, nobody has done a stop for a change. And hopefully they remember what you've just said. We'll go back to tyres. And then we will follow Khalifa on another safety car restart that he has done this season. He's certainly leading the laps, I must say. And of course, remember, there is a playoff point for the most laps led. Only 22 laps tonight. So one of the shorter races in terms of the amount of laps, which means it should be easier to get that playoff point if you're out front. Here is Khalifa then. Restart zone coming up on your right is where the DRS activation line is there. And Khalifa controls the field and away he goes. It looks nice and easy as we see Corey pit. I wonder if that is for retirement as we look back from Khalifa. Corey has indeed retired. That you have to respect, so fair play. Trouble further back for the Nigel Mansell car of Gareth, who's made his way up to P9. I saw him go wide on the exit of turn 1. But he has gathered up nicely and has made up 4 positions from where he started as the drivers come on to the Kemmel straight then. As we see a little bit further up, Pete Knighton is in a hell of a battle here. They're going to be 3 wide into Lecombe.
Casper, it's going to be contact.
Oh, contact between a lot of them. In fact, Look at that. Casper goes around the outside. Fantastic. He gets 2 in 1 there. And now finds himself up behind Jake O'Sullivan. But runs a little bit deep there. Ben Harrett and Pete Knighton getting a little bit feisty on the way into turn 4 and contact in turn 5 as well. But at least they were able to keep it clean, no damage. As we look at Kieran, who's going to go down the inside and pull on Pete Knighton. Good move that is for the Season 5 champion. A little bit loose though. Gathers it up nicely in that Marussia car.
Yeah, speaking of Kieran, he was caught napping a bit on the restart because he was over 1.2 behind at the start, and obviously with the 3 cars ahead of him battling, he's caught right back up. It's a nice move on the inside of Pouon against Pete.
Yep, looking racy then as we see, bloody hell, as we see Yori almost in the wall there. We did catch that, Yori, don't worry. MK Bourne picked up a penalty, and I believe Arnaud made a move on Jordan and is now looking at the back of Jamie Numbers, the Dale Earnhardt car. So Arnaud sniffing the top 10. Oh, here we go. It's going to be easy for Arnaud. Look at that. Gareth and Jamie Numbers are fighting, and Arnaud is going to slip through up the inside of both of them. Into P8 he goes. Can he send it on Gareth? He did on Jake last week, and he will sit behind Team Speed's fastest driver for now. But Arnaud into the top 10, and he is the favourite. Remember, you can join along at home with the JACKOCAR interactive side of things. We have a bingo card on the timeline, and anything that you see happen in the race, please do let us know. As we look at Arnaud on Gareth down into turn 4, will he make it stick this time? Gareth is going to fight it, but it looks easy enough for Arnaud as he goes through and continues his march towards the front. Next up is Kieran.
And Jamie Numbers is going to go down the inside. Bit of wheel banging. Gareth got on the curb at the exit and got a bit tail happy, and Jamie Numbers had a look, but Gareth's kept the position for the time being.
And that's exactly the sort of mentality and driving style that you would see from Dale Earnhardt. So doing that number 3 black and white car proud is Jamie Numbers as he now looks for a move. Casper picks up a penalty, and there's your inevitable contact. It's like watching Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt. You've got to be careful here, Jamie, at Bristol Motor Speedway. So he will recover the track, and that again shows the type of season that he is having. Here's Quinn running lonely in P14 at the moment.
Casper's just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well, so he's the second driver to get one, as he's closing nicely up to the back of Jake with DRS enabled now, so he's going to be all over him down the Kemmel Straight because Jake is not in range of Owen, but up the front it's only half a second.
Yep, and of course there is a stage point at the end of this lap as well, which Khalifa will be looking to try and take the point. I don't know who to watch here, because here goes Owen Wyatt on Khalifa, and I believe Jake is getting passed in the background by Casper. Indeed he is. Owen is through and Casper is through, and he's done that way before the Lecom's corner as well. So Casper flying, Owen flying, and the back stepping out of Casper. Yeah, look at that. We'll go on board with Jake because that car looks ever so lively. There he is then. Thank you once again to those of you watching.
Well MK's Bourne is out, and we get a second safety car.
And that MK Bourne, by the way, Gareth has pitted, you should note that. Yes. A legal pit stop, the only one to do so, makes him technically a Joker driver now. But the heartbreak now for Ben Shaw, who all he had to do, he may well be ill, all he had to do was turn up and finish. Because in this eventuality, if Mike Kelterborn was to crash out like he has, it meant that Ben Shaw would go through in the club card shootout. But as it happens, Ben Shaw is not here. Mike has crashed out, but Mike will advance due to the fact he turned up tonight. So into the quarterfinals he goes, where he will face either Connor or Gareth next week. And Gareth, like I said, has already pitted. So he is leading Connor.
Just quickly on pit stops as well. Jamie Griffiths, Quinn, Waze, Gareth, Jordan and Pete have all made their first stops.
Well noted.
So does that see the top 3-4 into the box? So technically, technically Quinn was the leading car on the stops, but obviously this safety car now has brought everyone in. So it's going to definitely mix up the grid now.
4, 5. Don't mind me. I'm just keeping up. By the way, very, very quick VAR check there. Casper led lap 6, so actually claims the stage point. We all thought it was going to be Owen or Khalifa. And it is Casper that stole it. Drive-through penalty for Sullivan Lewis. Quinn is the man you want to watch. He is technically the net race leader with his 1 stop. Oh no, they've all stopped. I didn't see the gaps. Ignore me, everybody. Ignore me.
Yeah, because the safety car coming out now has kind of stuffed Quinn a bit.
And Pete as well, and Gareth, all those guys that are down there that we're flicking through.
So, apart from Casper, everyone has made their first legal mandatory stop.
Yeah, so back to tyres then here. Casper, excuse me, that's wind, seems to be a weekly thing. Casper on his 6-lap old mediums then. He, providing he stays out, will be able to retain his safety car pit stop that you are allowed in one portion of the race or another. However, that relies on a safety car actually coming out. And around Spa, if it's anything like the last game, it is the most common track for a safety car.
Yes, just quickly on home favourite as well. He's now up into P6, technically P5 once Casper makes his stop, so he's getting ever so closer to the front of the field again.
Yep, from 19th on the grid. And he has done this before, by the way. He went from P20 to P1 some 650 odd days ago. Did Arnaud, almost 2 years since his last win here in JACKOCAR. And of course, we mentioned it last week on stream here, Barry, about Kyle, Khalifa, Arnaud have all been on 11 wins for some time. None of them have won this season. All 3 of them are capable of winning still. And will it be one of them tonight? Of course, all eyes on Arnaud. He is the man who you would expect to thrive around here as he has done before. I think 2 wins here in the Cup Series at Spa. He loves it at his home circuit. Of course, now residing in Cologne, Germany.
Yes, so the curse of setting pole this season is not going in favour of Khalifa again. Like I said at the start of the stream, whoever set pole this season has not gone on to win the race, but we're only 8 laps in, we've still got a long way to go. Anything can happen here.
Yep, that's 1/3 race distance for those who like fractions. Maybe that's Khalifa's problem. He is too focused on setting pole times than winning races. But, I mean, like I said, that stat earlier, 19 poles in 42 starts. I think the only man who can match that is I'm sure it's a 100% record that Josh Fletcher has around JACKOCAR. He took pole in Brazil and then crashed out in the race. Josh Fletcher, 1 start, 1 pole. That is the record, 100%. Other than that, it is this man that you're looking at right now, Khalifa El Khalifa, 19 poles. And of course, that matches the wins record of Jamie Wright, who we have lost from tonight's race, the only joker. So you are now looking at a straightforward shootout between these guys. And of course, that means everybody has made their first mandatory stop, with the exception of Casper. So he'll be keeping it interesting for us. But where will these drivers come out at the end?
Yeah, just scrolling through the liveries while we've got the safety car. Which is your favourite at the minute, Jacko?
At the minute, we haven't got a lot of time left. I expect safety car to come in. So that is Ben Spurs. Looks a lot nicer in person. Ben Harrett, I should say. Let me run through these. Kyle's don't like drifting. Quinn, it's too old. Gareth, Connor, Jordan, Pete's. I like Pete's and Jamie numbers for the fact that they're NASCAR.
Yeah.
Sullivan Lewis, he's done a very good job on that. but it looks
He
like a car that
has.
Kieran ran a couple seasons ago. Then you got Waze, which is an IndyCar, the GoDaddy car, not the Danica Patrick one. It's the Andretti one. Jamie Numbers and I'm going to go Gareth. Gareth wins it for me this season.
Well, I'm going boring. I'm going plain and simple. I like Jake's Cadman.
So you like the throwback that's not a throwback.
Yeah.
All the way. Dates all the way back to July 2023.
Yeah.
That's enough of that. Enough of that conversation. Here's Casper then on the restart in Spa. It's lap 8, soon to be lap 9. He already has the playoff point for stage 1. And he also has one stop to make extra on top of the others. Casper gets us underway once again at Spa-Francorchamps. Let's go further back and see what happens. Ben Harrott has gapped Arnold, but you expect Arnold to come back in the braking zone. Here he goes up the inside of Ben Harrott, who gives him the room, and that's going to be a nice move done if he gets a traction down, but I think Ben Harrott has had a better exit there. We'll stay on board Arnold as we head down towards Eau Rouge. Ben Harrott has the line, and Arnold lifts off. I think he cut the corner there as well. No penalty, maybe a warning. Arnold now on the outside. Owen Wyatt has overtaken Casper, and look at this. Kieran out of nowhere, but he gets boxed in on the grass, and he's going to have to sit behind these guys as Arnold now looks down the inside once again. He's following the gearbox of Ben Harrott, but manages to not make contact this time. Kieran, once again, looking very lively. And here's Jake O'Sullivan down the inside of Casper on those old mediums. Ben Harrott's going to go through as well. That's his old teammate. But what about Arnold, his ERT buddy? He's already let the front two through. Arnold has made the move on Ben Harrott, but Casper, will he let Arnold go? No, he's going to hold him up through Pouon. And this is going to invite the likes of Kyle and Quinn back into it. Casper moves to the right. Arnold goes through, and Casper can't block Ben Harrott, but Ben Harrott goes wide, and I think he's just about going to get that move done, but he's done enough to give Arnold a little bit of a gap, which sends him up into P4. But look at the time he has lost to the three in front of him.
Wow. Good scrap there between them all, and Kieran's still trying to get past Casper now, and he's got the move done. Casper is falling like a stone.
Of course, when you are the leader, in fact, here goes Kyle. That'll be a nice move. These two are fighting out for the win at Silverstone, but that one was a lot easier. Cuts across the track. Does Casper. That was almost a crash from those behind, but he finally pits. It does make you wonder if he should have pitted, but of course it's a lot harder to know what others are going to do when you're out front. He did the opposite to Owen and Khalifa, and sure enough, everybody else pitted. Here's Risky. He will pit as well. And Owen Wyatt leads from Khalifa and Jake O'Sullivan and Arnold, who has actually lost a little bit more time. Kieran, the only man on softs in the top 5 and being challenged by Kyle, who's also looking very lively. And look at this, Ben Harrott goes through as well, reclaiming that position from Kyle. Fantastic move there. Who's looking so good this season is Ben Harrott. 2-time race winner in the Cup Series and already in the playoffs this season. Will Kieran send one? He absolutely will. Ooh. Down the inside he goes on the slightly better line and the better tyres, but Ben Harrott will hang it around the outside, which becomes the inside, and that's position retained. But Kieran is not going to let this one go. He's going to go to the outside now as we head down to Pouon, but doesn't have the commitment there. He's always been struggling with commitment issues as this guy. But again, Ben Harrott placing that car perfectly. Kieran, he likes that outside line. But once again, no answer for Ben Harrott, and they now have Connor all over the back of them, and that will be inviting for Quinn as well, looking at this battle. Behind him is Gareth and Pete, who are very much a part of this train. Ben Harrott doing a fantastic job, it has to be said, as Arnold loses more time to Jake O'Sullivan. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to it. Three wide. Unbelievable move from Connor Byers. That's fantastic driving from the man in that Ferrari. Fantastic. What a move. One of the best we've seen, actually. Reminiscent of Corey when he went 3 wide at Cops earlier this season. Fastest lap from Khalifa, starting to show his hand now. DRS enabled once again. And Connor running high in P6. Great stuff from him.
Wow. Great defending from Ben. Still, he's holding off Kieran on them softs as well. But I was watching the onboard of Kieran. The grip he had going through Pouon was insane. I thought he was going to try around the outside of Ben. But fantastic racing between these drivers, and Connor snuck through, and he's now going to get overtaken by Ben.
Ben Harrett, yep. And there he goes. Ben Harrett is having a great race down there in P6. He is very much a part of the upper portion of the midfield these days. And as I've just recently said, 2 Cup Series wins, so he is a contender as well. And Jake O'Sullivan said when this game come out, watch Ben Harrett this season. And we have been, and it has been an absolute joy so far as he continues to light up the surface here in Spa. Is that rain or moisture I'm starting to see, Mr. Baldwin, by the way? There was
yeah, it just suddenly got dull, didn't it?
Yeah. And don't worry, Khalifa, I did note it. You have overtaken Owen Wyatt for the lead. And this is going to work out very nicely for everybody if it does rain, because they've all made mandatory stops, apart from that man down there in P16, who I assume he has pitted, hasn't he? So, yeah, he needs a safety car, does Casper. And Khalifa locks up the rears, but will come through to lead lap 11. And that will be a playoff point for the man from Ritha in Bahrain as we begin the second half of this race.
Contact at the back. It was Pete has hit the back of Quinn, as Quinn and Gareth are going side by side into the bus stop. And I believe, left side end plate has gone off Pete's car.
What a shame for Pete. I wonder if he can work with that. Not always that easy as Owen Wyatt retakes the lead. We keep missing the battle for the lead. But that is because there is action further down. And here comes the rain then. On board with Pete Knighton as the first drops fell. Of course, Spa, such a long track. Look how fast Pete is in a straight line. Spa, such a long track that, of course, if you make the mistake of staying out one lap, it can totally ruin you. Gareth is still on now the inside and goes back through. That's not Gareth, that's Quinn, by the way. The former Team Speed driver gets back past Peter Knighton, the former JACKOCAR champion. Of course, lacking front wing, so he was fast on the straight, but not in the corners. Luckily, you expect a pit stop to be coming very soon, but that will drop Pete Knighton further back. A man who currently sits P6 in points at the moment, having his best season since 2020 is young Pete. Yellow flags out. This could be the safety car that Casper needs.
No, it's Yuri that's off.
Yuri
just gone for a spin. Right end plate is gone, so damage for him. And just quickly, now the stage point has been done. At the end of lap 12, you can all make your second mandatory stop.
I've got half a feeling that these guys are going to keep on going as well.
Yeah, Owen locked the rears going up into the bus stop then.
It's funny because Khalifa did that the lap before, actually.
Yeah.
And these two have dropped Jake. And Jake has dropped Arnaud. Here he is. You wouldn't rule him out, though, would you? You would not rule him out. Pit stops further down, Barry. What will these be for? Maybe Inters? Surely not another set of dries.
Going on to the intermediate tyres.
There it is, everyone.
Is it a lap too early, or is it spot on? We shall see. That is Quinn, Speed, Pete, sorry. Risky has carried on. Yuri is in the box. New set of mediums, new front wing. And Casper has also carried on.
Yuri's makes sense because of the damage. He'd lose too much time. Casper, I do understand, doing an extra lap. But everybody now, apart from Quinn, Pete and Yuri.
Pete's going for a move on Risky, as Risky's still on the mediums. Oh yeah, it's a bit sketchy there.
Well, this shows you exactly what tyre to be on, doesn't it? And it's not the intermediate. That's why Casper's made the right decision.
Lap too early.
Yeah. So, speaking of a lap too early, the leaders are coming up to the end of lap 13, where we will find the pit entry over on the right after the bus stop chicane. What will Khalifa and Owen Wyatt do? Khalifa stays out. Owen Wyatt, however, he thinks it's time. He's going to go on to the intermediates.
Jake stays out. Arnold's in.
Arnold is in, so this could be the call that wins the race then.
Yeah, Kyle, Connor, Ben, Gareth stays out.
I think what we need to do is stay on board with Khalifa through Eau Rouge and Radion and see how those medium tyres hold up. He has to lift a little bit, but it's not atrocious. He didn't lose a lot of time.
No, same with Jake. Jake was still in 8th gear going up there.
Yep.
Kieran's on softs, downshift, but still pretty much flat.
I think the downshift may be because of tyre wear. Those softs are not really meant to last more than 5 laps here, I've been told.
So Owen Wyatt has come out in P5. He's the highest runner on the mediums. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on the gap with Jordan behind. It's currently 2.2 seconds.
I don't think it'll be too long, and you'll be looking at the gap in front. But this rain is just staying constant at the moment. It doesn't appear to be getting too much worse. A lot of drivers having conflict of ideas. As we see Owen Wyatt make it around in that HRT car, which was never used to running as high as P5. That camera angle looks a lot wetter though, doesn't it? Maybe it is time, because the gap to Gareth, who's on those mediums, is closing. Let's go on board with Gareth. It looks like he's struggling now, doesn't he? And
Jordan is now 4 seconds behind Owen, so it's time for inters, I believe.
So, has Khalifa done enough in the first half of the lap? Oh, look how much he's struggling. This could fall in favour of Owen and Arnaud, but depending on how much time Khalifa and Jake made up. They both pit. Kieran will as well. But let's follow Owen Wyatt.
If Kieran can make it, geez, he did well to keep that in a straight line.
And through goes Owen Wyatt. Gareth pits, by the way. This is going to be close, guys. Khalifa comes out the pit lane. Yellow flags. Owen turns into La Source. Khalifa turns out the pit lane. And P9's out this race. And Owen Wyatt leads this race. And there's a safety car. Arnaud is going to win in Belgium. It's 7 laps to go.
Calling it now.
I am.
Right, there we go. Unfortunately, I didn't catch what happened, but towards the back, it looked like it might have been Risky and Pete that had come together, because obviously they were close on track and Risky was on the mediums. So it might be one for the stewards. We'll see after the race.
They won't report each other. For Ways with a 5-second penalty there. I was too busy focusing on the Owen and Khalifa battle. Khalifa come out the pits ahead of Owen, but couldn't get the traction down, and then that's why Owen is now in the lead. And the safety car was called immediately after that. Also, just running the numbers, 5, 6, 7, 8. Khalifa has led 8 laps thus far. Owen 3 and Casper 3. That keeps you up to date with the most laps led. Stage 1, Casper. Stage 2, Khalifa. Pole was Khalifa. And of course, we still have 2 podium playoff points to give out, as well as the fastest lap and the 5 for the race winner.
So, fastest lap, unless it dries up towards the end, the fastest lap will be going towards Casper.
Excuse me whilst I have a drink there. That was bad timing. Casper, by the way, if the playoffs started right this second, he is your championship leader due to the amount of playoff points that he has over the rest of the field. So not having his day down in P14, but certainly looking good for the postseason. And whilst we've got some time, Mr. Baldwin, let's look at the club card shootout situation. It's Yuri Hazalaga who is ahead of Risky. There's that battle. They are right next to each other on track. Obviously, whoever wins there will face Ben Harrett next week. Jordan next week will face Peter Knighton or Jamie Wright. And Jamie Wright is out of this race, so is Pete. But Pete retired after Jamie. So Jordan versus Pete next week. Where are we next week? Is it Monaco? It is Monaco. Of course it is. The Khalifa versus Jamie Griffiths battle. So Khalifa P2, Jamie Griffiths P11. This is going one way at the moment. Khalifa has been outstanding tonight. Kyle versus Kieran. Again, they are right next to each other on this restart. And then it's Connor versus Gareth, and they are also together on track. And whoever finishes ahead there will face Mike Kelterborn on the streets of Monaco. So that's how your Tesco Club Card Shootout is looking, as we are on lap 16 of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, interesting. Quinn and Jordan pitted. Jordan pitted because he had no front wing, so I don't know what happened to him, but his front wing was completely missing. So unless he's had a coming together with Quinn, and that's why both of them had pitted.
Don't know, I missed that one myself. I was looking at the JACKOCAR bingo. Let's see what we've got. Owen Wyatt wins best throwback livery. That's a no so far. Corey DNF, I got that one. A shock exit from the Club Card Shootout. I think had Ben Shaw race tonight and then Mike beat him, that would be the biggest shock. The next biggest shock on the cards is Jamie Griffiths beating Khalifa. I don't think it's going to happen. What else have we got here? Gareth becomes the highest finishing member of Team Speed. As it stands, not happening. Kieran is that man at the moment. And the one I want, actually, is 6 winners out of 6 races. So you can join along at home. JACKOCAR bingo. Find it on the timeline. And message us with your winnings.
So, yeah, we need Arnold to do the business then, to make it 6 different winners.
Arnold or Khalifa, or Kieran, or Kyle.
Of course, yeah, Khalifa's not won yet, has he?
No, and that's the thing that's hard to believe.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm just looking. Yeah, Khalifa's not even been on the podium this season.
No, he hasn't. It's shocking, isn't it?
That is.
I would say washed, but he's far from washed. Is Khalifa?
He's a one-lap merchant. I shouldn't say that about him. I shouldn't.
He shouldn't say that for a man with a championship to his name. 299. Actually, no, that's a lie. He has 307 laps led to his name in the Cup Series, and 541 points.
I'll be getting kicked out of ERT for that comment.
That's why I left, so I could have the free speech. What else? Let's have a look at the stats. I tell you what, another great stat for you. 42 starts, El Khalifa. 2 DNFs. 2.
That's consistency for you.
That's a stunning return on investment, isn't it? 11 wins from those, 41 starts technically. 28 top 5s. 35 top 10. So only on 7 occasions has Khalifa not been in the top 10. Incredible stats. Has 102 playoff points, now 103, 104 because of the 2 he's earned today. And what a man.
So obviously, because he's not done the amount of races of like Jake and Ben Shaw and Jamie Wright, where is he on the all-time list?
All-time list in terms of starts?
Yeah.
This is mixed in with Cup Series, by the way.
Yeah.
Kia Series. Khalifa is 37th out of 85 drivers. And of course all of his starts coming in the Cup Series. So there you go. There's some Khalifa stats for you. Of course, Khalifa, by the way, generated the JACKOCAR bingo sheet that all of you are looking at this evening.
We've got a 5-lap shootout coming up now, and it's going to be the first green flag racing in wet conditions. Everyone on medium, inters should I say, not mediums. That'll be a disaster.
And everybody's stops are now complete as well. Very slow from Owen Wyatt, and away he goes. But will that little slow start caused problems further back. Let's go and join them further back. Arnaud and Khalifa and Jake are all fighting as we see Kyle go straight on at turn 1. Avoids everybody though, but will drop down the order. Gareth is P6, Kieran is 5th, and Arnaud is getting past Khalifa, who once again is having no luck. But here goes Kieran up the inside, thinks better of it. And that will be a battle that goes on towards the end of this race now. But look at Arnaud, 19th to 1st, did we say? It could be happening again here in Spa. Here goes Jake, who leads the race for the first time tonight. Gets it slowed down. Owen Wyatt going off now, but back up the inside. These two had beef in Japan. They have beef in Spa. Owen Wyatt is out. Arnaud is...
We've got a massive crash. We are dead. Wow.
Arnaud is not out.
Owen's car came back onto track and it wiped out.
And we have ourselves a red flag. So that was on your JACKOCAR bingo sheets. JACKOCAR has its first ever red flag. And we were told Codemasters turned this feature off.
It's funny enough, we were talking about this before the race began.
We were, yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know what happens now.
Neither do I. I think, from what I understand, Bazza, please do stay with us. This black screen is... I think normal. I think what happens is you get this countdown that we've just received. The drivers change their strategy so they can put on fresh mediums, and then we get going like another restart. So we're going to have.
I'm guessing, obviously, because we're not in the cars, they'll be back on the grid.
Yes.
In whatever positions they were. But just quickly, Jake couldn't make the corner, and they were still side by side. Owen ran him out a bit of room. The wheel banged and contact in this game, and that was
that all stemmed from Jake and Owen not giving each other room. But there's wets and inters. Arnaud is going to have to do this from P14, and we're underway once again in Spa. It's Jake. There's a crash further back. Jake leads from Khalifa, and we see Gareth in P3. We're having an absolute mess here in JACKOCAR. Spa always delivers. It's going to be a three-lap shootout to the end. And what's happened further back? I'm missing it all.
Kieran got a bit out of shape.
Kieran's out.
I think he tapped Ben, and that was it. He had no chance. He was like a skittle into the wall.
Look at this. Gareth is somehow running P2, but Khalifa doesn't want that to happen. But however, Gareth breaks later. And Gareth also goes off the track, but rejoins Khalifa up the inside. They're going to allow Jake to get away at this rate. We could have our first repeat winner this season. He did it last in Saudi Arabia, where he won his title all those seasons ago. But look at them all struggling. Khalifa, the only man, along with Casper and Arnaud, who has stayed on intermediates. Everybody else has gone on to wets. It's a free pit stop because of the red flag. It's a JACKOCAR first. I think it might be an amateur esports league first as well. We're going to claim that title as well. But Khalifa is not looking awfully slow, is he? He's actually closing the gap on Jake. We could yet see Khalifa on the top step. He has certainly deserved it tonight. Also, interestingly enough, in terms of most led laps, I have nobody who led lap 18 or 19, so that's going to be an interesting one to sort out. But here's Khalifa on the back of Jake. Is he going to send it, or is he going to wait for his moment? But we've been waiting for this all season for Khalifa to have his chance. There's fireworks here.
Around the outside of Blongemont.
You know there's going to be contact there, and Kyle as well getting involved.
Yeah. I don't know, but for me, Casper made that move off track. Gareth's cut the chicane completely.
Look at Khalifa.
Yeah, so it looks like Inters are the tyre to be on.
It certainly does, because Khalifa is putting it in places where Jake simply can't, and it's just going to take a very clever move in the mind of Khalifa to sort this one out. Welcome. And thanks for watching to the 11 of you that are with us. You are watching the battle for the lead here at Spa in JACKOCAR. In the Cup Series, Jake puts Khalifa in the wall, but I think that may have been a little bit of desync. It will certainly upset the Bahraini international as he looks to go around the outside. Can he get the move done? There's no room given there. And Khalifa looks like he might have got the move done. Jake pushes him off where Kieran pushed him off a few seasons ago. but Jake has got his elbows out and retained the lead for now. This will frustrate Khalifa no end, and Casper, who was 16th at one point, nice slide, 16th at one point in this race, has found himself back on the podium. Amazing turn of events here in JACKOCAR. Once again, we have had classics all season long, and there's a lap and a half to go. Let's rejoin the battle for the lead. We're on board with Khalifa. Jake, who now loves to get his elbows out because he used to race like an F1 driver, but now he's got to race like a JACKOCAR driver. What can he do here? Khalifa up the inside again. You know what? I'm half expecting a bump and run later on, and there's contact all the time from Khalifa, and up the inside, no contact. Casper very much part of this battle. It's the 3-car breakaway for the lead of the race. You know a bump and run move is coming. Khalifa has been part of the league since day one, and he knows the rules better than anybody, dare I say. Or will he go to the outside here? Yes, he will. Jake O'Sullivan will once again force him wide. Will he cut the corner this time? No, he won't. Casper is sniffing his second win of the season as well, and it's going to be one lap to go here at Spa. Not sponsored by Credit One Bank. Khalifa inside and out. He's all over the back of Jake's gearbox. Staying on the inters was the one for him. And Jake goes wide, and through goes Khalifa, who leads on the final lap in Spa. Jake, can he recover? Yes, he can. He'll come out ahead of Kyle and Gareth, who's having his best race this season. Arnaud's gone from 14th to 6th. What a recovery from him. What could have been on a night here. But it looks like Casper now will play the team game and just defend from Khalifa, as we've got 2 yellow cars leading the field here in Belgium, just like we did in 1998 when Damon Hill and Ralph Schumacher won for Eddie Jordan. This is the end of Sector 1 here, where we saw all the carnage, just a handful of laps to go, which gave us our red flag. And Casper still sliding the rear round. There is Arnaud. Oh, here is Gareth, actually.
Inside of Kyle.
Fantastic move. Fantastic move from Arnaud.
Can he get on the podium?
Can he? Because it's Jake, a frustrated Jake, on the wrong tyre, who was leading this race for a couple of laps after the red flag and is now floundering down in P3. Arnaud has looked so racy today. What a shame if he'd just put that lap together, but it wasn't the case. Instead, in fact, we're going to stay on board with this, you know, because Jake, look at him struggling all over the place. Will he go wide again and let the ERT driver through? It looks like that's going to be the way. Arnaud gives it a little drift as he goes through. It's an ERT 1, 2, 3 back to the front though, and I think Barry Baldwin, for the first time in nearly 900 days, we're going to see back through. It doesn't matter.
Back through.
Khalifa El Khalifa is going to be back on the top step of the JACKOCAR Cup Series podium as he wins in Belgium. Amazing stuff. It's Casper second, but what about Jake and Arnaud? Who's got it on the line here? It's going to be Jake from Arnaud, and Kyle will come home P5 with Gareth, a best result of the season. In fact, Kyle jumps up to P4 because of Arnaud's penalty. What an ending to the Cup Series here. Oh, stunning. They're still racing. It's Connor from Ben Harrett who started the race really well. Then Yori. Jamie Numbers gets his first top 10 of the season with no front wing in that Dale Earnhardt car. Waze is 11th. Quinn is 12th. And Risky is on the soft tyre. So yeah, I don't understand that one, but fair play. We'll go on board with your race winner, Khalifa El Khalifa. Race win number 12 puts him second all-time, clear second all-time in the Cup Series, behind Jamie Wright's score of 19, and third all-time, if you include Kia wins, behind Yuri Hazelager, who has 12 in Kia and 1 in Cup. He has 13. Khalifa has 12 and is also into the Season 8 playoffs.
Yeah, what a race. It literally had everything. Dry conditions, safety cars, spins, crashes, even a red flag. Khalifa, who set pole and is the first driver to win from pole this season. Not only that, he is the 6th different winner this season. You've got to love JACKOCAR.
6 from 6 in Cup, 3 from 3 in Kia. That's 9 from 9 all season. Nobody does it like JACKOCAR. And there you see Khalifa's character point to the sky and punch the air. He's a winner once again in JACKOCAR. What a moment for the man from Bahrain, and the driver of the day, the in-game driver of the day, goes to Arnaud. I think that's thoroughly deserved. What a race he had, and gets a rather lovely top 5. There he is, the godlike essence of Khalifa. He rises above everybody else here in Spa. Casper P2, Jake O'Sullivan P3. Please join us next week. Well, it's not the end of the stream, by the way. I'm just running out of words because that has left us breathless. Barry, give us a rundown.
Yeah, of course. So Khalifa finally back on top in Belgium. Casper, another solid drive, rounding off in P2. And Jake, again, for the 5th time, is on the podium. Kyle, a solid result in P4. Arnaud, driver of the day. And from 19th on the grid, I think he'll be happy with P5 at his home Grand Prix. Gareth, another great result for him, up in P6. Connor is 7th, also from 17th on the grid. Ben, who gave us a lot of entertainment again in P8. Yuri is P9, and Jamie Numbers rounds off the top 10. Waze is 11th. Quinn, Risky, Kieran is DNF, Jordan, Owen, and Pete.
The rest don't matter.
They did not finish.
Whew. Well, that was exciting. And the good news for Khalifa as well, not only does he beat Jamie Griffiths in the Club Card Shootout, he goes to Monaco next week where he has had previous success and he's on a Joker. So maybe he is about to hit form. It's taken him 6 races since his return to the league. He left us full-time in Season 3. He did a couple of reserve races in Season 4, but Khalifa is back on the top step in JACKOCAR as we head off to the south of France and the Principality of Monte Carlo in a week's time. Mr. Baldwin, thank you very much. I don't think we need to add anything else, do we? It's Kia on Tuesday.
Pleasure as always. Be sure to tune in Kia Tuesday, 7 p.m. I believe it's the first time JACKOCAR will be going to Qatar.
You would indeed be correct. And nobody knows what to expect other than Danny Quinn is probably going to lead the entire race and let somebody through on the final lap.
Yes.
Have a good evening, everyone. Good night.